Jose Rizal's classic masterpiece, Noli Tangere, has been told in books, movies, plays, and now in an opera. Clara gives us a taste of this world-class piece as she talked to its executive producer and main characters.
A fresh adaptation of Jose Rizal's literary masterpiece, Noli Tangere, is coming to Manila next month, dubbed as a once-in-a-lifetime production celebrating Filipino art, culture, and history. Noli's opera version promises to breathe new life to the celebrated novel, and it has been staged successfully in New York and just recently in the American capital of Washington, D.C. And to tell us more about Noli Tangere, the opera that will be playing here in the Philippines, we have with us the executive producer, Sibal. Good morning.
Good morning, Claire.
And welcome to Daybreak. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting us, me especially, and my artist.
Yes, later we will be seeing the artists that will be part of the opera. Now, please tell us, because this was such a huge success, Noli Tangere abroad, and it's finally coming to the Philippines, and you're the executive producer. What came to your mind when you were chosen to be the executive producer of this opera?
That was the biggest surprise of my life. Mrs. Lloyda Lewis, she was invited to watch the Chicago production of Noli Tangere. So, and then she came back to New York. She said, we should bring this to New York because it never happened in New York. It never happened. So she said, I should bring these to, and so that all Filipinos would be able to watch them, and let's show it to the mainstream Americans also, that we have history, we have culture.
That's right. If you don't know here, Jerry is an event designer based in New York, and he had clients like the Vanderbilts and Celine Dion and Mario Batali.
Yeah, Sir Richard Branson.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I said it's a way of me giving back to the community, especially to the Filipino communities, Now, it struck me that I have the responsibility to give back and inspire Filipinos also. So when Mrs. Lewis invited me to handle the production, I said, wow, this is wonderful, this is beautiful. But the challenging part is, when you say opera, there's a perception, there's a stigma, matutulog lang kami na, it's so boring, So, but with this one, you'll be amazed. Every time I watch, it's something different. It always made me cry. So that's why you identify yourself as a Filipino and you have your own culture, you're proud about it. And that's the reason why I said, why not, use this Noli Tangere to create awareness, and open the minds and eyes of the younger generation.
Right.
Because the story is so relevant and so current.
So what will the audience will expect from the production?
Expect the best of the best.
Okay.
It's not only we have Les Miserables, Phantom of the Opera, we'll be there, and that's why I brought something here. I designed the proscenium, as I designed the stage and the costumes. And that's why I want to make it something different this time. And I'm trying to introduce a new type of technology, especially doing at the Resorts World, which is very lucky, to be our partner. And, they're trying to promote culture also and arts, Filipino arts and culture. And so that's why they have the LED lights and everything and the screen. So I'm utilizing those because I want to attract the younger generation to come and appreciate our opera.
Okay, let's talk about the set. How did you make it feel like as if the audience is there with the characters or in the Spanish era? Yeah,
because we have 3 acts on the Noli Tangere opera. We have 3 acts, so we're going to change every scene. We're going to change it, So I'm introducing, this is just the proscenium that I designed. It's like the house of the front stage. And then on each scene, we're going to change it with flyers, sets, and props. It's like watching a Broadway shows.
Okay.
It tells you a story. If we say, like, okay, at Capitan Tiago's house, so I'm creating an interior house and bringing back the Spanish era, the houses. I'm introducing the architectural details, the elements, so people will go into as if they're watching the movie.
So is there anything you want to add for the audience to know before we go?
Sure. Just want to tell your audience, please come support your own, you know, because you'll be proud to be a Filipino. You'll be proud that you have your own culture, and we're the only Asian countries who has Spanish, you know, influence. That's why be proud of it. I'm going to show the historic and the social relevance of it. So please support our Noli Tangere.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And again, that was executive producer Jerry Sibal of Noli Tangere, the opera. Here with me this morning are the lead characters of Noli Tangere, the opera. We have Sal Malaki, who plays Crisostomo Ibarra, Rachelle Gerodias as Maria Clara, and Andrew Fernando as Padre Damaso. Good morning to you guys, and
Good morning.
welcome to Daybreak.
Thank you.
And you know, if you guys don't know, but these are award-winning, you know, artists with me right here. So let's talk about first Noli Tangere, the opera. I know it was staged in New York and in Washington, D.C. You were just written up with a great review in the New York Times and Washington Post. Tell me about those productions.
New York was a wonderful experience. We were able to bring the opera to the Filipino community in New York. It was quite a celebration, a gathering of wonderful artists of Filipinos in New York. Plus, we also had American singers who were in the production.
Dalawang performances ginawa, and then it was reviewed by the Washington Post. Rave reviews ang binigay sa lahat ng characters, actually. Of course, the main characters, principal characters.
So finally, it's coming, well, it's now here in the Philippines at home, and it's going to be in Filipino, and it's perfect timing because it's Buwan ng Wika, this month, and you will be part of this production. Tell us about your experience so far.
Well, right now we're still in the rehearsal stage, so I'm still feeling myself in the character of Maria Clara. I'm very excited because I used to, of course, read the book in high school, and of course I'm familiar with the characters, and now I'm playing this role. You know, she's supposed to be a role model and the ideal Filipinas.
But if you're involved in a production, you have to read it again and then look at it at a different angle.
Yes, different
Tingnan mo sa iba-ibang angulo. Again, how relevant is the work? Very much relevant ngayon. Before we do our duet, Lupang Pangako, alipin at busabos sa sariling bayan. Why? Because we allowed it.
Ouch. It gets personal also because, well, obviously we're Filipinos,
Exactly.
Yes.
so we feel the sentiments of the Filipinos, the Filipino people.
It really actually speaks to every time and generation of Filipinos, because we still experience the oppression, right? In different ways.
In different ways.
In different forms. And so, and the longing of Filipinos to rise above the situation that Noli has presented very, very well in the novel by Dr. Jose Rizal.
Right.
It's the same heart that we have in the opera.
Maybe we hear a little bit of maybe an excerpt from the songs. We'd like to hear the
guess that's
beautiful
me.
voices.
But it is actually now my favorite piece in the opera because it says a lot
It's
about
a beautiful myth.
It sums
love.
it up, yeah.
You know, it sums it up. It's about love for your country, you know. So here it goes. Kahit tabis ng buhay sa sariling bayan, lahat doon ay ating ang kaibigan, ang simoy sa bukid,
I play
You
Padre
play
Damaso,
Padre
right?
Damaso,
And so
yes.
all my lines were pregnant with meaning, with villainy. But one of the things that Damaso, you know, we know Damaso did a very, very bad thing by exhuming the corpse of the father of Crisostomo Ibarra.
Yes, that's right.
And of course, just because of pride, because he didn't go to confession to Padre Damaso when he was still alive.
Okay.
So, and so where people were questioning me about that, so this is what I said.
Okay.
Ang ibig kong sabihin, kapag iniutos ng kurang hukayin, ang ereheng bangkay sa pagkakalibing, walang karapatan ang sinumat alin upang manghimasok, ito'y siya sa atin.
That's one of my passions actually. Bakit ako yung nagalit sa mga pare at that time, which was representing Padre Damaso. Haha, mataas ito. Di ba sila nagpapatay sa akong minamahal? Sila pa rin nagpabungkal, nagpalis pa sa bangkay.
Wow.
Bravo, bravo.
That is amazing.
We would like to actually encourage our viewing public to see Noli Tangere, to have a wonderful experience, see what Filipino artists are made of.
You know, but I'm sure you will have a great time. You'll be amazed by the great artistry. The music will be fantastic. It's beautiful.
And the level of
music.
production.
Yeah, level of
Yes,
production
the
actually.
production
It's directed
is-
by Freddy
Of
Santos.
course, no.
Very important. Of course, the composer, we have to mention it. Our national artist for music, Felipe Padilla de Leon Sr. And of course, the librettist is Guillermo Tolentino.
A national artist.
A national
as well.
artist also.
So, wonderful guests to have with us this morning. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
to
for having
Daybreak.
Salamat po.
Yes.
Thank you
Salamat.
so much.
Salamat.
And again, that was Malaki, Rachelle, Gerodias, and Andrew Fernando from Noli Tangere, the opera.